Hey, family, I need you to pull everybody in. We're just a stone's throw away from Mother's Day, but this is a conversation that I need you to have, and I want your own mother to listen to. We've got the mother of the modern-day civil rights movement and my adopted mother, mentor, and big sister with me on today, Lady Sybrina Fulton, mother of Trayvon Martin. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
When I first met you, I was on a march from Selma to Montgomery, and Ben Crump, who I'd never met before in my life, calls Reverend Sharpton and says, we had a young boy killed here in Sanford, Florida. I need you to come. Reverend Sharpton said, we're in this march because it was a historic, significant numeric number for Selma to Montgomery. He said, I can't leave just yet. We got to wait till we get to the end of the march. He then moves to Reverend Jackson, said, Reverend Jackson, can you come? Says, I can't go just yet. Wait till we get to the end of the march. So Ben Crump, who at that time, the only one who had met him was Reverend Jackson, said, what's the name of the AME church in Sanford? Oh, well, we had that first rally. I think it was Bethel AME maybe. Says that Bethel AME in Sanford. And Reverend Sharpton said, oh, Jamal's AME.
Let's call him.
Jamal, you go on. I landed in Orlando. They brought a car for me in Sanford. And that day, it was maybe 2 nights after this had just happened. And in that small little church, maybe held 150, maybe. And there's people from everywhere, jam-packed. And Ben Crump said, I need you to meet the mother. I met you on that day. We hugged and have not stopped embracing from that moment to this. When you looked at that video with George Floyd, what was going through your mind at that moment?
One of the things that came to my mind when he was calling out for his mother, I thought about my own son calling out for me. And I had to turn the television off because I was like, it was too much. It was too much. And then they was playing it every day, sometimes 2 and 3 times a day or every hour on the hour. And it was just too much for me. So I ended up having to turn the TV off for a little while, for a few days, to get my mind right, get my heart right, and just be able to get back into the fight. So, It bothered me. It bothered me. Everybody who has children, and even if you don't have children, but if you take care of children or your nieces and nephews, God kids, it's just something about when he was yelling out for his mom that touched every mother.
As a mother, I hate that we have to always bring you back to it's got to be one of the most crushing moments of life. When you looked at that video with George Floyd, what was going through your mind at that moment?
Well, at that particular time, one of the things I told myself is because I have to make sure that I practice self-care. Wow. And so one of the things that came to my mind when he was calling out for his mother, I thought about my own son calling out for me. And I had to turn the television off because I was like, it was too much. It was too much. And then they was playing it every day, sometimes 2 and 3 times a day or every hour on the hour. And it was just too much for me. So I ended up having to turn the TV off for a little while, for a few days, to get my mind right, get my heart right, and just be able to get back into the fight. So, It bothered me. It bothered me. Everybody who has children, and even if you don't have children, but if you take care of children or your nieces and nephews, God kids, it's just something about when he was yelling out for his mom that touched every mother.
I remember years ago, Coretta King was on Oprah's show, and Oprah gave her a complete makeover, said she had her hair exactly how it was since the funeral. How have you been able to keep the torch, but still move forward?
By backing away sometimes. I really have to make a intentional effort to take care of myself.
Yes.
A lot of times we so busy with trying to take care of everybody else and everything else that we don't take the time out for ourselves. And I think that's one of the things that I kind of realized early on that I have to take time out for Sybrina.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to call me and say, come, let's go shopping. Let's go to the spa. Let's go get our hair done, our nails done. So I have to do that for myself. And I think that makes a big difference. The other thing is going to come and go, but you have to be there and you have to be mindful that you need caring for as well.
Before all of this, did you have the discipline for self-care?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm thinking about my pastor. I go to Antioch and Miami Gardens, Arthur Jackson,
Yes.
the third. And one of the things that he told me, he said, trials and tribulations don't build character, it reveals it. So
Wow.
you are simply seeing who I was prior to.
Wow.
And so it just comes out, and sometimes when I don't even want to be funny, I don't want to laugh, it comes out because that's truly who I am. I have been happy 95% of my life. And then this tragedy happens. And then I found myself on a dark street in like a hole. And I just was convinced that I did not want to stay where I was.
Yes.
I didn't want to stay on that street. I didn't want to be depressed and sad and unhappy.
How do you stop yourself from going down the rabbit hole of wondering, thinking, dreaming, imagining, what if? What if Trayvon was still alive? What if that night didn't happen? Where do you go and how do you block yourself from staying there?
Of course, by human nature, we're going to go there. We're going to think about those things. We're going to travel down that road and say, what if this didn't happen? What if that? I kind of pretty much just think about things in the now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think about things and I try to keep myself focused on the now. I keep remembering everything about him as if it was just a few years ago and not 12 years ago.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like 12 years. And so it just, to me, I just try to keep my mind right and try to keep myself right and keep my body right and try to, handle my mind, body, and soul all at the same time.
Yes. How do you stop yourself from going down the rabbit hole of wondering, thinking, dreaming, imagining, what if? What if Trayvon was still alive? What if that night didn't happen? Where do you go and how do you block yourself from staying there?
So, of course, by human nature, we're going to go there. We're going to think about those things. We're going to travel down that road and say, what if this didn't happen? What if that? I kind of pretty much just think about things in the now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think about things and I try to keep myself focused on the now. I keep remembering everything about him as if it was just a few years ago and not 12 years ago.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like 12 years. And so it just, to me, I just try to keep my mind right and try to keep myself right and keep my body right and try to, handle my mind, body, and soul all at the same time.
Yes.
And I think when I do go down that path, I know how to bring myself back.
Wow.
For some reason, I've learned how the healing process goes, and I know how to put it on the shelf, and I know how to pick it back up.
Tell me what goes in your mind knowing you had to bury your son and the person responsible is still walking around?
I don't give too much focus on the person that's walking around because, like I said, with my healing and I put things on the shelf, I put that on the shelf and I never picked it back up.
Yes.
Early on, I can tell you that I was asking for God for healing. And when I didn't get it when I wanted to, because God works in his own timing, right? I would grab it back. But now that I put it there, I've turned my back on it and I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it. I'm trying to worry about me forgiving and moving forward and not so much of what's behind me. I can never lose focus of why I'm doing this because it's in my heart.
Yeah.
My heart, my son is in my heart. He heard my heartbeat from the inside. I could never lose focus of why I'm here, why I'm doing this, why I have to fight, why the struggle continues. I could never lose focus of those things. And so I just move forward. It's about moving forward. And I think it's all, and also when you pledge, agree, it's a mind thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I think healing is a mind thing, just like happiness
Yes.
is an inside job. Healing is an inside job.
No, I love
And I've learned how to do those things, not only just from what I know myself, but through counseling.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we don't want to discuss therapy. We don't want to discuss counseling.
Yeah.
But I went to counseling, and when I feel like I'm losing myself and losing control,
Yeah.
I go back to my counselor and say, listen, something going on. We need to straighten this out.
Right.
You
That's
know,
me. How did you learn how to co-parent in tragedy?
I think the co-parenting came prior to the tragedy. We were able to be civilized to each other prior to the tragedy. So when the tragedy happened, I would call him or he would call me.
Yeah.
A lot of times the reason why the co-parenting don't work is because somebody is still attached to the other person.
Right.
I think we detached during the divorce and reattached to somebody else, right? And so I was able to see him as the boy's father,
Right.
and not my husband.
Yes.
That was done, right? And so that's what happens a lot of times. You know, somebody is still attached, and when somebody is still attached, you can't keep the kids focused. And I think our focus was Trayvon. Our focus was Javaris. Our focus was just making sure that we're trying to heal ourselves so that we can continue with our life. Because if we had not did that, then when Trayvon died, I would have died too, but still walking on earth.
Wow. Think of bravery in a battle. Say, oh, Sybrina, you just moving forward. You just a soldier. And they think that you from another planet and don't know that you still bleed and cry and have moments. But you have been so transparent in the journey.
And let me also say that it's something that I work at. There's something, you know, it's like losing weight.
Yeah.
You know, I can't sit on my couch and eat honey buns and M&Ms and think that I'm going to lose weight. It's some things you have to do, right?
Yeah.
So anything.
Or high Krispy Kreme. That's what they were eating before you came in.
Oh,
Go ahead.
goodness. That's what I had.
Yep.
But anyway, you got to work at it. And so I think with healing, you have to work at it. You can't just say, I want to be healed, and all of a sudden you heal.
Yes.
I have to take my pastor praying for me and my church family praying for me. I have to pray for myself.
Yes.
I have to have time that I read my Bible and pray to God and ask for healing and do things that help me heal, like reach out to other mothers. I have my self-care time. I do all of it. I do.
Great.
I'm physically fit
Yes.
at this
look great.
particular time,
Yes.
you know, and I work at it. I work at it. Anything you want to do, you have to work at it. And I put the work in. So a lot of people are asking me if I want to run again. A lot of corruption that I did see, unfortunately, but I haven't decided if I'm going to run again. I lost by 1%.
That's insane.
Yes, I lost by 1%.
That's not run by that too quick. Do you know how I'd be up at night drinking Mountain Dew looking at that 1%? But you still have not given up on the democratic process.
No, I have not. I have not.
With all that has taken place, and you're still living in Florida, with what the governor of Florida is attempting to do, DeSantis, and remove history from the grasp of young people who are in Florida, I am shaken to my core of what he's going to try to do when your son is in books, to rewrite that history and narrative. What is your concern for young Floridian Black kids in understanding the struggle?
Well, I also believe that the parenting and the learning starts at home. So we have to teach to a certain level as well. But it's already in the books. It's already will be in the books, and it's already there. So regardless of what people try to erase, it's still there. You know, the fact of the matter is it happened and it's still there. I'm concerned about people who try to take away your rights. Whether it's the LGBTQ, whether it's women's rights, whether it's our young people's rights. I'm concerned when people try to remove the rights, you know, as if they're on a different level than everybody else. A lot of times people don't understand that until that affects their family,
Yes.
that's when they're going to be concerned.
Yeah.
And I say that not only about our governor that's there, but a lot of the politicians there. We have to get back to the basics, and a lot of the politicians put, a profit over people. And we got to get back to making sure that our people are being taken care of.
People trust you. You are integrous, and you're honorable.
But I'm bruised a little bit.
Yes.
I'm bruised a little bit because of the corruption that I did see.
Well, that's why you're necessary.
Well,
Yeah, that's why you're necessary. You got to be a bright light in a dark place.
Well, yeah, and I truly believe in the people. I truly believe that I'll make a difference in people's lives, and I just want people to feel safe, because I want to feel safe.
Yes.
Like everything that I want for myself,
Yes.
I want for the people of my community.
How do you find the balance of being a survivor, an overcomer, a grieving mother, a drum roll, let's put it where it is, and a celebrity? I know you're not going to wear it, but I watch it. People stopping you for pictures, people you never met before, just want to be able to grab a hold of you. And again, this is not from you doing an R&B album.
I wish it was.
It's not from you doing a movie, but for how it is that you move. How have you been able to navigate this space of people looking at you in that same kind of stage?
Because I haven't changed. My situation changed, but the person who I am has not changed.
Yeah.
I still have to call my mom. I still have to check in with my son.
Yeah.
I still do a lot. I still like to play spades.
Yes.
How
many books you got?
So it's some things that have changed, and I'm on a different level when it comes to speaking, because I speak professionally through a speakers bureau, the American Program Bureau out of Boston. And I meet a lot of people and those things, but when I go back home, I'm still Sybrina Fulton. I'm still Trayvon and Javaris's mother. I'm still the person who worked for the county 20 plus years. I still have my family there. I still have to, just do the regular things in life. I still have to do those things. And so I'm humble, but I'm not weak.
In our 11, 12 years of being in each other's space, how has this impacted Trayvon's grandmother? Because I don't think I've had that conversation.
She is my biggest cheerleader. She's a part of the support team.
Yeah.
She is, I'm 50 something years old.
Yes, me too.
And I still have to check in. I still have to text. I still have to send her everywhere I go.
Is she in Florida?
She's in Florida.
Yes.
She's in Miami, and I still have to send pictures. Yes. So it's nothing changed when it comes to that, because I'm the youngest, and I'm always going to be her baby girl. So
there are some people as pastor that I've walked through have gone through tragedy and traumas, not as high profile, and go through the healing process. But one of the non-negotiables for them is they do not go to funerals.
Oh.
You don't? Wow.
I will go to a viewing.
Yes.
I will go and sit with the family.
Yeah.
But I don't make it a habit of going to the funeral. And the high profile funerals, it has to be something in my head that says you need to be there. Mm-hmm. If I don't get that, I did go to George Floyd's funeral.
Yes.
And I did not want to go until I saw 3 of his brothers in the lobby. And when they saw me, they just started hugging me. And I was like, I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really supposed to be here.
Yes.
But I just felt like those seats should be for people who known the people and people who their loved ones, like their friends and family, should be sitting there. And I don't feel like I should take up a seat, unless I'm speaking. If I'm there to speak, then that's one thing.
Right.
I love to provide support to the families, but I don't think I have to be at the funeral to do. It's too much.
You are a proud and esteemed, celebrated member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. But you are also
That's right.
in another sorority of overcoming mothers.
That's right.
And I want you to talk about that circle of mothers who have really come around you in this journey.
It's called a circle of mothers, and there was no circle of mothers around when I lost Trayvon.
Yeah.
And it's about empowering women. It's about healing. It's about just coming together. I usually do it in Miami the weekend after Mother's Day, because I truly believe that you should be with your loved ones on Mother's Day.
Right.
And so then we kind of rally around each other after Mother's Day. It's the weekend after Mother's Day. And I'm planning for it now for May. And we laugh, we cry, we hug, we do all of those things. I usually bring 100 mothers a year, and I didn't know exactly how to maneuver things. And so Afeni Shakur, Tupac's mom, wrote me a letter, and I was like, that's my keynote speaker right there.
Wow.
And they told me, they told me, oh no, she doesn't speak. She's not going to come. She doesn't come out. And I had never really saw her on the journey. Right. I never, you would see her every now and then, but she didn't do much speaking. And I reached out to her because she had written me a letter. And when I reached out to her, I said, I just need you to come. I just need you to talk to the moms. I mean, I was new to this, so I didn't know what to say. Right. And she said, I'd be glad to come.
Wow.
And she came, and she was my first keynote speaker.
Wow.
And I remember just vividly her walking into the room, and they played Dear Mama without the music. It's just him talking.
Yes.
And it was just like, really?
Y'all had to wrap me up.
Oh,
she
my God.
Carry me out of
what?
There. Wow.
It was powerful. It was powerful. And she said, one of the things that she said she has never been in a room of her peers. Every mother in there was like in tears.
Yeah.
Because now we got somebody that we can pattern our life after.
Yeah.
We got somebody we can look up to and say, well, this heartbreak didn't kill her. It's not going to kill me. Yeah. Like I said, I invite like 100 moms a year. There's no shortage of moms. I always have to look for funding in order so I can bring the moms, because I take care of everything, the foundation. Through the foundation, we take care of their flight, we take care of their transportation, the hotel, the food, the counselor. Wow. They get a swag bag, they get a shirt, they exercise. It's about mind, body, and soul. We do a meet and greet. We have a church service. Everything is all into one. And then the only thing I ask the moms to do is go back into their communities and help other mothers. No, that's beautiful. I'm grateful that you're doing this, a source of ministry for you. What has been for you in this journey of 12 years, one of the most significant moments, whether it was a call or a letter, or you're at a program which makes you feel, you know what, I'm really loved, I'm covered? One of the things was Afeni Shakur, like I said, Maya Angelou. Yes. And also Barack and Michelle Obama at the White House. Wow. That did it for me. You could have rolled me up and just sent me home. Yes. I mean, that did it for me. That was confirmation that I was on the right track, that we were on the right track as a foundation. How do you, Drake says no new friends. How do you now screen how you allow people to get close at this point? Because you don't know what people are attached to, what they're trying to get, what is the motive. How are you able to do that and still keep clean hands and a pure heart? I think one of the things I'm still close to my family. Yeah. I'm still close to my same friends. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't have any new friends, but it's hard to get in. Of course, you build a wall up because I see your wall, you know, and so you have to build a wall up because you have to protect yourself from what's out on the outside. And so you never know when somebody is going to backstab you, but you try to do your best to discern, you know, who's a good person for you and who is not. I can certainly say that on my train ride, on my journey of my life, you could never forget that I lost my 17-year-old son in my chapter 5. But it's what I did in chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what's important, you know. And so you got to continue to move forward. Even though some people may get off your train, the train has to keep moving. And I don't waste my time, or I don't waste a lot of time worrying about who got off. Because if they got off, that means they're not going in the same direction I'm going in.
Absolutely.
And it was time for them to get on.
Yeah, they illegally jumped on the train.
That's right. With no ticket.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm going to look straight into the camera and let people know that healing is an inside job. There's some things that you need to do that has been laying heavy on your heart that you need to do for yourself. I'm going to suggest you do those things. You do those things if they remain positive. You do those things if they're beneficial to you. You do those things if they're going to help move you forward to the next step. We all grieve. And I jokingly say a lot of times that we are all crazy. We have all been through some trauma. My trauma has just been more severe than your trauma, but we all have been through some trauma. And if you have not been through any trauma yet, keep living, keep saying happy birthday, and you'll be through some trauma too. It's how you deal with the trauma that you receive. It's how you deal with the cards that you're dealt that makes you different from anybody else. And so I say just continue to move forward. Continue to put one foot in front of the other. Continue to pray, but don't just pray, because the Bible tells you faith without works is dead. So you got to work at it as well. So that's the work part. That's the work part. That's the part we don't never want to do. It's the work part. So I just suggest that, you know, you put your hands together and you just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Even if it's baby steps, keep moving.
I love it. Thank you, Evangelist Sybrina, for your one-night crusade.